This brief tutorial will show you how to add voice narration to a keynote. So once you've opened up a basic keynote file, you're going to be adding information in it, like the title of your presentation, your name, etc., etc. Once you've created all of the slides that you want, one of the things that you can do is you can add animations. So here I've already filled in some information in a title slide. I'm going to insert a new slide, and I'm going to add in some text and information here. And what I would like to have happen is I would like for the text and information to come in one bullet at a time. So I would like for the second bit of information to come in, and then the third bit of information to come in. The reason that I want the information to come in one bit at a time is when I'm narrating something in voice, it sometimes helps if I'm able to not reveal all of the text on a slide at once. It helps focus my audience's attention on the particular thing that I'm saying. So to animate this, to have each of these lines come in one at a time, I'm going to go in the inspector, and this little picture that looks like a yellow diamond with some zoom in it, that's called the build inspector. Notice that we have build in and build out. Build in allows us to change the order that text comes into the presentation. We would click on build out if we wanted to have information leave the presentation. So we're in build in, and I'm going to select the thing that I want to build in. So I select this text box, and you can see that I can tell it's selected because it has these little white squares around it. These effects, there's all kinds of different ways we can have things appear in this. And when I select one of them, what'll show in the little preview window above is what that one looks like. So that's what blast in looks like. I would suggest to you that while lots of these effects are really very cool, one of the things you want to consider is, are they distracting? So for example, some of them, this is a flash bulb, so it makes little fleshy pictures. That might look cool, but unless it relates to the content of your presentation, it's more of a distractor than anything else. The one that's listed as appear is the most simple. Now you notice up here that it shows all three of those blocks of text appearing at once. Down here where it says delivery, I want to do by bullet. This bit of text has 3 bullets in it. When I do that, you notice that it shows me the bullets one at a time. If I have multiple things that I'm animating, it's automatically going to order them in the order that I select them to animate. But you can change that order if you want. For example, if in addition to that picture, let's say that in addition to that text, let's say that for some reason I had a picture over here and I wanted the picture to come in. I would select the picture. I would choose the effect of appear. Now notice that because that's the second thing I animated, the order that it appears is second. But if I want to switch this around, all I have to do is I can select the thing that I want to come in first. I can switch its order to 1. Now when I select the text comes in second. So once you've created your presentation and you've added in all the animations to have the information come in a manner that's meaningful to your audience, the next thing that you're going to want to do is to set the audio. Again, we're going to need to be in the inspector, and there's a tab on the far left-hand side. It's the document tab. It has document, settings, audio, and spotlight. We're going to use the audio setting. And down here where it says slideshow recording, we're going to click on the record button. When we do that, our screen is going to go blank for a minute, and then it's going to pop up our presentation as though we were showing it to someone with a little view of a microphone in the corner. When you're doing your narration, you'll see your voice level show up in the status bars in that little microphone, so you know if you're speaking loudly enough. So let me show you what that looks like. So you can see that in the top left-hand corner, we have that little red dot and the sequence of bars. You want to make sure that you're speaking in a volume that you're averaging above 2 of those bars. As you go through your presentation, you'll notice that things come in animated in the order that we had set them. So first that little block comes in, then the first bit of text comes in, then the second bit of text comes in, and you'll notice that I'm timing my narrations to go with the text that's coming in. All I'm doing to get those animations to come in is I'm pushing the down arrow key on my keyboard. When I'm done, when I hit the down arrow key for the last time, the presentation exits, and you can see now that I have a recording. If it turns out that I messed up my recording, what I can do is I can re-record over just this slide. So I'm going to click on record, and it says, are you sure you want to re-record this? And if I do, I can just say record again. Now the slideshow recording is going to start at whichever slide you start at. So you notice in the example I just gave you, I had the second slide selected here. When you're doing your full recording, you want to start on the first slide of your presentation and work your way through. When you save your presentation, you'll have a Keynote file that has voice narration attached. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. The very last thing I'll need to do, once it has been fully narrated and saved, is I need to export it into a movie file. The way I do that is I go up to the File menu and I select Export. Now the export settings that you're going to use, there's no particularly good way to remember them, so you may want to make notes real quickly as you watch this presentation on the settings you need. We'll go to Export, and we're going to select QuickTime from up at the top. We should have playback uses recorded timing already set. On the formats, we do want to use full quality large. And we'll say next. Sorry, let's try this again. On the export, we do want recorded timing, but under the formats, we want custom. Not full quality large, we want custom. All right, the video should say full size. And we don't need to change anything in that. But the audio, we do need to change. So the audio, instead of copy audio, we're going to go to mix audio. And then we need to click on the settings. And this is where we need to change some things. Instead of linear PCM, we need to select AAC. Stereo left and right is fine. Our rate, we want 48,000 kilohertz. Our render settings, if you don't already have this show advanced settings, you need to click that. Our quality should be normal, and our encoding strategy, instead of average bit rate, we want constant bit rate, and the bit rate should be 128. Then we can say okay, and then we can say next, and now it's asking us where are you going to save this, and notice that it added the .mov extension file. What happens then when you say export is it's going to take a while for this export to happen. So you'll see this export to QuickTime start, and it'll show you the pictures, the slides of your presentation. You'll be able to see the animations, but you won't hear anything going on while it's doing this export. Again, the export is a pretty slow process, so this is a good time to make sure that your computer is powered and plugged in if you need it. And if there's anything else you want to be doing while it's exporting, now is the time for it. Once the export is done, it is that .mov file that you're going to load up into Moodle.